Listen, me tienen que perdonar porque no les voy a hablar en español hoy, porque la última vez que yo hice una entrevista en español en México, el señor me preguntó a mí, ¿cómo te sentiste cuando... Oh my God. ¿Cómo te sentiste la primera vez que conociste a Gordon Ramsay en MasterChef? ¿Cómo te sentiste? Y yo, pues, fue algo espectacular, me quedé bien embarazada. He was like, what? So, I'm going to be doing this in English. I'm sorry, you still love me, right? Okay. Oh my God, Gordon Ramsay. Look at that face. Look at that face. He's nice, right? Yeah, okay, I'll show you what he's like. It's let's see.
Look at the mess! Shit! Where's the lamb sauce?
This is the lamb
Where's the lamb sauce? You fucking donkey! The fucking bass is fucking raw! Get out!
Crazy pants, right? It's okay, my mom's Colombian, so I'm kind of used to that kind of language. Anyway, he's really serious about his kitchen. He's very, very serious about it. So imagine my surprise when I ended up in his kitchen, and really the only recipe that I had mastered was apple pie. I used to make apple pie 2 or 3 times a week because I loved chopping apples and pretending they were my ex-husband's face. Just like, ugh! I hate you! Ugh! Yeah. Let me see if I have a, look at us.
Look at the mess!
No. I went to next. That's me and my ex-husband. We got married in front of an Elvis impersonator, so that was gonna last, right? That says this is gonna be forever. Yeah, good decisions. I loved him though, ladies. I loved him so much. Oh my God. When I met him, he was living out of his car, and the only thing he owned was a really bad drinking problem. And I was like, boy, you better put a ring on it. I loved him. I really did. We moved to Seattle together, and I landed this incredible job. At the job of my whole career, I was signed to a $500,000 contract doing morning radio in Seattle. I was married to my first real true love. We lived in this beautiful house. It was a 3-story house overlooking Lake Washington. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm living a fairy tale. This is the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me. And then I got pregnant. How many moms do I have here? How many of your moms? Oh, my moms. Being pregnant sucks, right? It does. It totally does. Yeah, I gave birth to a beautiful 9-pound baby boy. I know. And somebody was like, wow, yes, 9 pounds. My husband gave birth to 2 DUIs. 2. We had twins. We had twin DUIs. And I was like, okay, all right, we can do this. We can work it out. We'll figure it out. We'll send you to rehab. I'll pay for a lawyer. We're going to get out of this. Yeah, so I spent all that money, and I decided, you know what? I came home one day, and my son was calling the nanny mommy. And I was like, I can't be working all the time. I really want to be the mother that I never had. I want to be home with our son. So I left my job, making $500,000 a year, left my job, and decided to be a stay-at-home mom. And so I could focus on my son. And my husband also focused mostly on other women. So when I found out that he'd been cheating on me, it was the worst thing that I was just heartbroken. Has anyone here been cheated on? I know there's more than one person, don't even play. But okay? But I know there's more of you. You know, when you get cheated on, oh my God, I felt like someone had ripped me open and scooped out my insides and thrown them on the floor and set them on fire. Like, I was like, what am I gonna do? And then I thought, okay, it's okay, I'm gonna figure it out. Maybe we can go to therapy, we can figure it out, you know? But then he passed out drunk while he was watching our son, and my son got into his bottle of wine, and I said, you know what? No. Divorce. I filed for divorce. Thank you. Hi. Oh, I mean, you don't have to, I've never had anyone applaud my divorce before. I want to show you this picture, okay? This is how do I go back? Yeah, so that's me, and that's my son when I filed for divorce. Do I look scared to death? Because I was terrified. In my whole life, I never thought I would grow up to be a single mom. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a single mom, I'm out of money. I had spent all my money on divorce attorneys and DUI attorneys and attorneys to get me out of my radio contract. And then my son got sick. He got this thing called MRSA. It's a flesh-eating bacteria. Oh, we were in and out of the hospital for months. I had no savings left. I had to sell everything I owned to pay for the hospital bills. So we moved. That was a couple of days before our moving day. We moved from our beautiful house, 3 stories overlooking the lake, to this little tiny 400 square foot apartment. It was half the size of this stage on a good day. I mean, everything was gone. It was the lowest point of my life. The lowest. I'm like, okay, I'm divorced, I'm unemployed, I'm a single mom, I'm all alone, I'm in my 30s, what am I gonna do? Yeah. That's why, late at night, while my son slept, I would sit in our little kitchen. The counter was the size of this podium. Yes, okay, it was a bachelor kitchen. I would sit there and I would chop apples. And I'd be like, this motherfucker. Child support. So mad. I made so many pies. My house smelled awesome. It was good. Yeah, well, it was a really bad time. It really was. And when one of my friends came over, I was down to my last couple of bucks. And he was like, you know what, maybe what you should do, maybe you should try out for a reality show. And I'm like, why would I want to try out for a reality show? And he's like, because if you make it on camera, they have to give you $50. And back then, you have to understand, back then, I was on a $10 a day budget. $50 would feed my son and I for a week. So I was like, all right, let's do it. And so he showed me this website where they had auditions for reality shows. And one of them was for MasterChef. I had never seen the show, ever, okay? But it was an audition. It was only a mile away from my apartment. And I'm like, all right, we're going to do it. But they wanted you to bring food. And I was so broke. We had like nothing in the house. Nothing. And I'm like, what am I going to bring? What am I going to bring? I had these angry little apple pies. I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to bring them some apple pie. And they weren't even like I didn't even have enough apples to make like a big pie. So I had like these 3 little pies. I had nothing to carry them in, okay? Like literally, I sold everything I owned. We had a bed, a chair, a desk, and a TV. All right, that was it. Everything. She's laughing. I was like dying on the inside, okay? I'm like, what am I going to bring these pies in? What am I going to do? I saw my son's diaper box. And it wasn't even like a brand name diaper box. It was like the kind that you buy when you're really broke. It was like, I'm like, I guess I'm going to bring them in a diaper box. And I emptied out this diaper box and I put my pies inside and I grabbed my dog's leash and I strung it around the handles and I made a purse out of it. And I walked up to that audition like I was wearing a $10,000 Gucci bag. Like, I am all class. in my diaper box with my apple pies. Crazy. I meet the producers. And, you know, they had their doubts when they saw all the baby butts. They're like, why is your pie covered in baby butts? But they tasted the pies, and they loved the pies. I know, what a shocker. They were made with so much hate. So they advanced me to the second round of auditions. Now, this is really insane. They put you in this room. There's one big long table, and all these fancy producers are there behind this table. And I'm there with like another 10 people, and they're asking everyone all these crazy questions about the culinary world to see how much you know about cuisine, you know? And it was insane. They were like, tell me what you think of sous vide. I'm like, sous vide? She's so crazy. And they're like, no, sous vide's a cooking technique. Yes, that's what I meant. Am I on camera? Am I getting paid for this? And they're like, no, you're not getting paid for this. But you know what? There's $250,000 at stake in this competition. $250,000. So if you're serious and you really want to make a dish for Gordon Ramsay, I'm just gonna show you that again, okay? How do we make it play? Do you see me talking to it like it's my phone? Play, Google.
Look at the mess! Shit! Where's the lamb sauce?
This is the lamb
Where's the lamb sauce? You fucking donkey! The fucking bass is fucking raw! Get out!
Woo! They were like, do you think you could make something for him that he'd like? And I was like, yeah. I made a baby and everybody likes him. Me quedé muy embarazada. Oh my God. Insane. But I was in a predicament. I found myself in a real predicament, you guys, because I knew how to cook. Obviously, I knew how to cook, but I wasn't a master chef, you know? But this was the reality of my life at that point. The reality of my life was I had one way out of a really bad situation. I had to become a master chef. How? I don't know. I went back to my apartment, 400 square feet. I had a little 1-by-1 kitchen counter, 1 burner. And I'm like, I guess I'm going to teach myself culinary school. And that's what I did. I read every single cookbook I could get my hands on. I watched every episode of Master Chef. I really figured out like how mean Gordon Ramsay was, and I got even more scared. You know, at night I would chop up vegetables and cook them for my son during the day with him at my knees. I made pastas and souffles, and you know, I remembered all the recipes that my grandmother had taught me in Boquerón, and I had we had a dairy farm in Boquerón. My cousin's here, by the way, who also has a thank you from Boquerón. And she taught me en sorullos, en pastelón, and all these beautiful Puerto Rican recipes. And I decided, you know, when Gordon tastes my dish, I don't want him to taste an angry little apple pie. I want him to taste the flavors that make me who I am, you know? Plantain and cilantro and mango, ¿verdad? I want him to taste Puerto Rico, you know? So I decided I was going to make him my grandmother's pastelón. Yes. And let me tell you how nervous I was walking into that kitchen for the first time with this little tiny pastelón, right? Because, I mean, you know, 50,000 people auditioned that year for Master Chef. 50,000. Only 18 were going to get to go into his kitchen. 18 out of 50,000. And this was my only way out. So I was shaking so hard when I walked up to him. I had to hold on to the counter because I was like, I'm about to pass out right here. But that's how this is how it...
Look at the mess!
No, not that.
Monty.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
Sir, I know I'm not the most experienced chef here. I guarantee you I'm one of the most passionate people you've ever met, and I will give it my all.
I'm sorry, but you will not be seeing your son for a while because you've got an apron. Congratulations. Well done.
Oh my God.
The dish is delicious, it's rich, it's comforting, and yeah, I think there's more to you. I'll put this on.
Oh my God, I can't watch it. I get all choked up. Woo! It was such a bad time. I couldn't believe he gave me an apron. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm actually going to do this. You know, and you know what's crazy? When I watched that, I think that was the biggest gift of my whole life, was this man giving me this apron. But I wouldn't have gotten it if my life hadn't hit rock bottom. I wouldn't have been there. I wouldn't have been in that kitchen. I mean, have you ever seen anyone so happy to put on a fucking apron? Look at this. I was so happy! Ah! I'm in! Oh my God! What a disaster! And listen, let me tell you something. Gordon Ramsay liked me. He did. That man that you saw yelling and screaming and throwing pots and pans, I don't know why. He liked me. He saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself. I mean, seriously. I want to show you this. Look at that. I love that picture so much. Sometimes I pretend he's saying really awesome things. But really, he was like, what are you doing? I loved him. He was so great to me. I mean, he changed my whole life. He really did. I was the first Puerto Rican woman in the MasterChef kitchen. Thank you. Thank you. And it was not easy because I'd never really worked in a kitchen before like that. At first, it really was a disaster. I'm going to show you how much of a disaster it was. This is another video. I hope you guys can help me play it because right now this is like magic. I'm like, I don't know what buttons. Someone make the magic happen.
Monty, how you feeling?
God, I'm so sorry, dude. I'm really, God, I'm so sorry, dude. I'm so sorry.
I came to talk to you, not to take a shower.
Dude. Okay. I'm so, oh my God. Where did that come from? Did it jump out? This is just, no. Oh, I can't. So sorry. I'm gonna do risotto. It's gonna be awesome.
Uh-huh. Okay, great.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Okay.
Man.
That was me every day in that kitchen. I set fire to the kitchen 3 times. He still kept me around. It was amazing. That man was not going to stop. Every day he would set a challenge for me. He would set a timer and he would say, go. And I was like, I can't. And he's like, yes, you can. I cooked for 101 soldiers in a field so muddy it swallowed my shoes whole. And I was like, Gordon, but I can't. And he's like, keep cooking. Like he didn't care.
He didn't care. He put me in a Michelin star kitchen. That girl in a Michelin star kitchen. He was yelling so many orders at me. Beans, rice, lobster, da-da-da. Yell it back. I'm like, and he's like, do it! Just do it! He froth. He had literal froth around his lips. But I did it. I chopped and I I stirred, and I broiled, and I baked, and I roasted, and I didn't stop until I could see, finally, what he saw in me. I wasn't this broke, unemployed, divorced, single mom. I was a survivor. You know? I owe that man my life. I really do. He forced me to see
what had been right in front of me all along, but I was so caught up in this rage about the divorce, about being abandoned, that I couldn't see it. Life goes on. Am I right? Life goes on. The bad things that happen to you, these aren't the things that define you. You define you. You. And that's what Gordon taught me. You know, sometimes in life, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you scream and cry and beg and plead and pray, sometimes life is going to knock you to your knees, knock you on the floor. You are going to lose. And you can't stay there and cry. You can't stay there and go, why, God? Why? You can't. Because you have to keep going. The clock is ticking. You have to get back up. I made it all the way to the top 5 of MasterChef. Thank you. Girl that brought her angry apple pies in a box covered of baby butts. Top 5.
And then Gordon asked me to recreate President Barack Obama's favorite sashimi dish. I call that the day shit got real. It was my last day in the MasterChef kitchen. It really was. I had no idea what I was doing, and I was eliminated. I was still broke, I was still unemployed, I was still a single mom, but he had changed me, you know? And for the first time in a long time, I believed in myself, you know? I believed that I could be more than the sum of the things that had happened to me. So I did exactly what Gordon would have wanted me to do when I walked out of that kitchen. I put one foot in front of the other, and I kept cooking. I got jobs in some of the best kitchens in LA. I got hired to host a show on FYI called Make My Food Famous. Jessica Alba asked me to host a web series for The Honest Company about baby food, and I was like, Jessica, why don't I just also make the recipes for the baby food? I hustle. You know, that's what you got to do as an entrepreneur. You have to hustle. When I didn't have an opportunity, I created it. That's what we do, right, ladies? That's what we do. Yeah, clap for yourselves for that, because that's... Okay, that's 5 years later, right? It's 5 years later, and I'm now on Food Network. You know, it's the biggest lifestyle channel in the history of the world. That's Robert Irvine and Giada De Laurentiis and Bobby Flay, and that's me. I auditioned for MasterChef with pies in a diaper box. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm just, you guys, I'm so thankful to be here today. I'm trying so hard not to cry. But when I look at you, you know, I see how much we have in common. We're so passionate about making our dreams come true, yes? Yeah. And I know that making those dreams come true has gotten exponentially harder since Maria. You know,
She kicked our ass. She did. But you know, that's life, right? There's always going to be another Maria. You know, there is. You have to find the gift. Find the gift. Yeah, Maria tore Puerto Rico apart, limb from limb. That's what happened. But when she did that, she brought all of us together. That's the gift. Because together we can do anything. Right? We couldn't stop that hurricane from destroying our beautiful island, but we can stop her from destroying our hope. That's our choice. She doesn't get to take that away from us. I look out here today and I see so many bold, brave, passionate, brilliant, beautiful Puerto Rican women. And I'm so thankful to be here with you. And I just want you to say, fuck Maria. Seriously. Get back up. Believe in yourself. Believe in your dream. Believe in what you can do. Take that leap of faith. You are beautiful, boss, brilliant Puerto Rican women. And what does it mean to be Puerto Rican and a woman? It means that you have fought for every little thing that you have. That's what that means. Maria doesn't get to take that away. You get back up. That clock is ticking. Life goes on. Your children need you. Your sisters need you. Puerto Rico needs you. So when things get hard, and you know they are, they're going to get hard. They're going to get a lot harder than they are right now. I just want you to remember this moment, okay? Like really think back on this moment and think about the recipe for success. The one that I learned from the angriest chef in the whole world. You fall down 7 times. You get up 8. Pa'lante!
I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.